Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Picture This, the Best Picture Movie Review Show, hosted by me. My name is Alex, and I would like to formally welcome you to our The 30s is Over party. And we've had a weird time with the 30s, and we're going to be here for a while. We'll reminisce, to look forward, and to just really hammer down how we feel about Gone with the Wind as like a unit. And just like any family unit, several of us are late, so we're just going to start with who's here. Joining me is the resident apologist. We would call him a centrist if we were talking about other stuff. It's Jack Pinchuk.
Yeah.
And the person that I will be mostly sitting on the fence with today, just really trying not to get involved too much, it's Caleb Coho.
Just can't wait to get to the 40s. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Matthew Chen and Adelaide Spence are busy, so they will hopefully be joining us a little bit later, hopefully, because I don't really want to get too involved with the whole Gone with the Wind debate.
Yeah.
I think I've made it perfectly clear where I stand on lots of things, and that's a lot of things having to do with Gone with the Wind. Yeah, so this is a weird crew. I don't think we've ever had this position. I should apologize. Last week I was not here. I think it was last week because I found out someone very important to me had not watched Napoleon Dynamite. And that's all you need to know about that. I don't think I need any other excuses. But we do hope that you celebrated. Not at all. We do hope that you celebrated and you made your daddies all feel special, and your fathers actually. Yeah, shout out to
so many jokes that just went through my head that it's like I'll refrain.
So let's start with the whole Gone with the Wind thing, so we can get this over with. We have to start early because like the plot point segment alone is going to take us 45 minutes to get through. This is like a 4-hour movie. Oh god. So like we're gonna take it over to Caleb Coho for the longest segment that we're ever going to give anyone.
Yes, this will be the longest plot boy segment ever. The year is 1861, and Jack is a little too excited about it. We are on the edge of the Civil War. Out on the plantation Terra, we meet Scarlett O'Hara. Too much rhyming for my taste. They go cotton in Georgia because that's what you do when you're a racist in the Old South. She's very into a guy named Ashley, which I think qualifies us to start the How Gay Was My Valley debate now. Jack, hit the song. Spence is here. Hit the song, Jack.
Jack.
Welcome to How Gay Is My Valley, the podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Coho, and today we're going to talk about how fucking gay is Gone with the Wind. Alex, do you have thoughts as to how gay Gone with the Wind really is? No woman can really love a man named Ashley, so what are we doing here?
Yo, the South was gay as hell, though.
Yeah, it was, though.
Like, actually...
George Reeves is pretty gay, bro.
Yeah, I don't... Now, okay, here's the thing. There is the whole thing with a guy named Ashley, but there are lots of scenes in this movie of just like, we could lick 20 Yankees, every single one of us. And we're like,
one of us could lick 20 Yankees is the exact quote.
We were like, is that right? That's such a specific phrasing. Here, okay. Yeah, I mean, for the content of this movie, we may have actually stumbled on like a top 5 pick, at least so far. I don't remember the rankings, because that's not my job on the show to remember the rankings. But like, actually, Jack, pull up the rankings, because like,
we got to rank Gone with the Wind on the How Gay Was My Valley, and we're doing this now. So Spence and Matthew don't get a say.
They don't get a say.
They don't get a say because they're late.
Top 5 pick, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, very gay movie.
Let's talk about
I would.
Victor.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh,
Actually, maybe it's not because
maybe it isn't.
it happened with Knight's pretty gay, bro.
Ooh, Wings though.
Wings is
Mutiny.
very gay.
I would say that I do.
I think this is gayer than Mutiny.
I think this is gayer than Mutiny on the Bounty. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, see, I would have Mutiny on the Bounty probably lower than It Happened One Night.
I don't think this is gayer than the Wings.
Oh, you don't?
This is definitely not gayer than Wings, but I think this is gayer than Mutiny on the Bounty. We all agree?
Yeah, top 5 pick.
Excellent. All the way to now number 5 on How Gay Was My Valley. Jack, hit the song.
There's just so much mood lighting.
There's so much mood lighting.
So much on.
All right, so let me get the Plot Boy glasses on as I continue back down. Oh, I forgot to say, this movie opens with the opening crawl to end all opening crawls. It is the Star Wars opening for racists. They just bring up the text, and it's like, remember when the South was great because we owned people? Let's go back to then. And then you go into the opening scene where Scarlett O'Hara is leading these two chuckle fucks on, and they're like, we're going to war. And she's like, you say war one more time, I'm fucking leaving. And they say war, and she gets up and leaves. Baller move, I guess. And then they're going to go to the home of Ashley, who is marrying her cousin Melanie Hamilton at the 12 Oaks. Ashley's like, nah, dude, I'm getting married to your cousin. Why would I be into you? Don't make me say shit like that. And she's like, fuck you. I hate you. And he's like, good. Don't talk to me. And that's when Clark motherfucking Gable shows up. Rhett Butler himself is like, what's up, pretty mama? Let me whisper in your ear. And it's uncomfortable. But he's like, Clark Gable. So he's like charming.
I'd like to ask a question. How old is Scarlett supposed to be? Because Rhett is clearly 45.
I think Rhett is like in his 40s. I think Scarlett's 16.
Okay.
She is 16 at the
Glad we got that codified.
It's a licorice pizza relationship. All right. So, I love that's our touchstone. The news comes that Lincoln is like, hey, we're going to go to war with the South, bitches. Don't own people. We're going to kill you all. And they're like, this fucking guy, we can take him. And then the best scene in the movie, I would say, is Clark Gable being like, no, we can't. What are you talking about? They're like, you've been up north. How well can we take him? And he's like, I don't know. We don't got no cannons. He's like, the exact quote I think Scully and I were laughing, like going like, oh, snap to, was he says, all we have are cotton pickers, slaves, and arrogance. And we're like, got him. Fucking got him. And they are so pissed. He's like, I seem to ruin the party. Bye. Just leaves, disappears. This is when Ashley and Scarlett have their thing, because then she throws a glass at the wall, and Clark Gable pops up from behind the couch. He's like, is the war started already? Which is a great character entrance. And then everyone is like, all right, we're leaving. We're rolling out. We're going to war. And as she watches Ashley make out with her cousin and then get on a horse and ride off to war, this chuckle fuck named Charles, this absolute motherfucking simp, is just like, what if we got married, and fucking and Scarlett O'Hara is like, you know what, sure, fuck it. Next scene, a letter that says this motherfucker died of measles out on the warpath. And let's be very clear, this annoying little fucker did not die of the measles. He died of 6 bullet shots in the back from his captain. Let's be very clear. His whole unit just put his ass to sleep in the middle of the battle. You've
been very kind to Charles or whatever his name is, because he's I mean it's the dorkiest character in a movie with like hundreds of cast members going, excuse me, Miss Scarlett, would it be okay if perhaps we maybe got married before I go? Because
oh god,
I don't usually do this, I swear.
I'm not like this, I promise. Oh god, heartburn. He's the worst. I'm glad he dies. Glad he dies early in this movie. So they find out that he died, and then they go to this big charity thing. In morning, whatever, and Clark Gable's there, and then they're like, we're gonna bid off the women to dance with as part of a fundraiser, and Clark Gable's like, I'll pay all the money in my wallet to dance with Scarlett O'Hara, and they're like, bitch, she ain't gonna do that, and she's like, the fuck I won't. And it just comes takes the bid and dances off with Clark
In
Gable.
her morning outfit, like an all black. The woman takes off her wedding ring to dance, and she's like, "No,
She donates her wedding ring at the event for metal. Like she does not give a fuck about the dude that died whatsoever." So
we do have an Adelaide in a car backstage. Yay or nay for putting them on?
No, you were late, bitch. You're late. You wait till you are in your house with a computer and a camera. You don't get to talk about Scarlett O'Hara being a badass. So then, I'm okay. We should get this out of the way. I'm like brushing over all the really uncomfortable slavery shit that's happening in this movie, where like you have like a guy named Pickles who like runs around as like a caricature of a slave, and it's super uncomfortable. And I will say pork, not pickles, pork. You're right. You're fucking right.
Everyone has their own way to grieve, and everyone should definitely be taking off your wedding ring to dance with Clark Gable.
Absolutely. And then the shit. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's also a little younger girl who is just brutally uncomfortable.
I hate her.
In this entire movie to watch. And that's when this scene happens, where we find out that they're about to go fight the Battle of Gettysburg, and they make it like a giant reveal, like kind of like the Titanic in Cavalcade, where they're like, oh, they're fighting in a little town in Pennsylvania. Where are they at? Gettysburg. Dramatic music.
That's the Titanic moment from this scene. From
it's
from
the
this
Titanic
movie, Cavalcade.
scene.
Oh, we should get on the greatest boat ever. I do love you. I'm glad we're on our honeymoon.
Like it's oh my god. And then a bunch of the people get killed in her town 8 months later. Their entire town is just getting absolutely throttled by the Union. Just absolutely smoked. War is almost over. Melanie gives birth, and Scarlett helps.
We should note that at this point they've moved down from the Tara plantation. They've moved actually further south. It's really uncomfortable. They moved further south into Georgia. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Was it Atlanta that they moved out?
Yeah,
somewhere in Georgia.
And Rhett goes to go fight. Scarlett makes her way all the way back to Tara. She gets there. She finds Tara is absolutely deserted except her sisters and her dad and Mammy and Pork, who are still alive.
And this is where the movie should have ended.
Yep, because she gets there and finds out that her mom literally just died from typhoid fever when she got back, and that her dad is fucking nuts. Tara is absolutely just like ruined by Union troops. And then it's the iconic shot and line of "As God is my witness, I will never be hungry again." And that's where the movie ends, and that's it. This was a beautiful 1 hour and 40-minute problematic movie that has a lot of good performances and good moments. Oh no, it says intermission. Fuck me. We have another hour and 50 minutes to go, bitches. So buckle up. The O'Haras out in the cotton fields, and they're complaining that this isn't their job, and instantly we're reminded that this movie is filled with people who should die. Her dad tries to chase away this guy who's like, "Oh, I'll give you money to settle your tax debts," and he's like, "Get over here, you son of a bitch!" Falls off his horse, dead. Fucker dies from falling off his horse.
I laughed for minutes at a time.
Dead. He literally falls. We don't see him hit anything. We just see him fall. The next shot is him going onto the ground. Doesn't move. Crossfade to a tombstone. The weirdest editing choice ever. So yeah.
No.
What was that, Jack?
No, the okay, that may be the weirdest editing choice, but the greatest editing choice in this movie is I can't remember the character's name. He's chasing a chicken. And he's trying to kill this chicken, and then it's just a shot of the chicken, and then it fades into a shot of a roasted chicken on a table.
Yep, that is part of the really uncomfortable things because the performance of the character of Pork in that scene is oh boy. Anyway, Scarlett is like, hey, Ashley, let's go. Let's get the fuck out. And they make out real quick. And then he's like, nah, I'm married to Melanie. Get the fuck out of here. And so then the Reconstructionist taxes are imposed on Tara. She gets her sister's fiance, who's named Frank, to marry her and say that someone got tired of waiting and married another person. And then Frank, Ashley, Rhett, and others go raid Shantytown after Scarlett is attacked while driving alone through it, and then Frank died. So yeah, she's down 2 dead husbands.
Honestly, I understand why Rhett was so like trepidatious about marrying Scarlett, because
The ending is the most.
expectancy-
The ending of this movie, to be totally clear, is the most satisfying fuck you ending in the history of film. Anyway, continue.
the life expectancy for being Scarlett O'Hara's husband is like 2 scenes.
Yes. Yes. Literally, she is a Black Widow bride. You marry her and you're out of this movie within the next 5 minutes. Finally, Rhett's like, yeah, you know what? Let's get married. And she's like, fuck yeah. So they have a kid named Bonnie Blue, but Scarlett still wants Ashley. And she won't have any more children, and she won't sleep with Rhett anymore because she's very self-conscious about her body. And then Scarlett and Ashley are hugging India, which is Ashley's sister. India hates Scarlett, so she spreads a bunch of rumors, which causes Scarlett to attend a birthday party for Ashley. Melanie's like, nah, leave her alone. And they come home to the party, and Scarlett finds Rhett drunk as fuck, arguing about Ashley. Rhett kisses Scarlett. They're gonna fuck. And then it cuts away. And let's be very clear that was like, we know what happened, right? We know what happened. That wasn't comfortable at all.
He wakes up the next morning like, good times.
Yeah,
Which is actually really weird.
very weird.
Oh, I hated that.
Hated that a lot. So then he apologized to her and offers her a divorce. She's like, nah, that would fuck my life up. So he goes to London and then comes back, and Scarlett's like, yo, I'm preggo. And she falls down the stairs because they fought, and then she has a miscarriage, which is actually pretty sad. Then Bonnie dies trying to jump a fence on her horse because the O'Haras cannot ride horses. The O'Haras just cannot ride horses correctly, so 2 of them have died from the same way. They go visit Melanie.
Hang on, stop.
Okay.
We're not gonna glide over the stupidity of this child's death. Hey, that kid would have been fine. That kid would have had maybe a concussion, maybe a rib problem. Cause like it's not that like she didn't get trampled by a horse.
No, she
That'll
fell
kill
off
a
a
kid.
pony.
She fell off a pony, and it's not like they even made the child actor do this, which they shouldn't have. They threw a dummy at a jumping post, and they were like, "Got it, 100%."
This fucking stuffed human doll is gonna do the. If Tom Cruise were there in the 30s, though, he'd ride that pony over that fence, though. So, is this movie better than Top Gun Maverick? No. And that is a fact. Just saying. Facts. Should we start a new podcast within a podcast?
Is it better
Alex,
than?
Alex, hit the song.
No, I don't know.
Hello, welcome to the podcast within a podcast. I am Caleb Coho. This is it better than Top Gun Maverick or nah? The question is Gone with the Wind better than Top Gun Maverick? Jack, is it better than Top Gun Maverick? Yes or no?
Can neither confirm nor deny. Have not seen Top Gun Maverick. Haven't even
Alex,
seen
is it
Top
better
Gun.
or worse than Top Gun Maverick?
It has to. Yes. No, it absolutely. Top Gun Maverick is so much better than Gone with the Wind. I said it.
Agreed.
There, I said it. Film
Agreed.
historians.
All right, there we go. Everyone document it from here on out. We're not going to go back and do the other ones, but every episode from here on out, we are going to ask the most important question in cinema. Is this film better or worse than Top Gun Maverick? And today we are officially defining Gone with the Wind worse than Top Gun Maverick. Back to the plot. So their kid died like a bitch. So then we're going to move on to Scarlett and Ashley like making out because Melanie dies on her deathbed because she couldn't give birth, and she's like, yeah, we'll be all right, yeah. And then Rhett's like, fuck you, I'm out to Atlanta. And having realized it was Clark Gable, Rhett, not Ashley, that she was in love with all the time, which is a very sudden and weird realization to come to in that exact moment. is like, no, you can't leave. You can't leave. No, you can't leave. And he's like, nah, I'm out. Bye. And he like says the most badass farewell line in the history of cinema. The line of the movie. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And out. Peace. She's like, what am I going to do? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And it goes out into the fog, and they never see him again. And she's like, I'm going to go home in Terra, and I'm going to win back Rhett one day. And that's how the movie ends, because she's a fucking psychopath. And they made a sequel in 1994 with Timothy Dalton playing Rhett Butler. It was a 6-hour TV miniseries called Scarlet, and apparently it was terrible. Anyway, yeah. Gone with the Wind. There's the plot. 20 minutes. That's how long it took to the plot in the intro.
That's a good point. Who was the bigger bitch? Wayne Gretzky or
or what is her name? Betty Blue, Bonnie Blue, Bonnie
Bo? No, that's the other one.
Bonnie Blue Balls? I don't remember. Bonnie Blue. That's what it is.
Bonnie.
Blue. Wayne Gretzky's a bigger bitch because he wouldn't do any of his own shit. He had to get so many people.
That's true. I've never seen Wayne Gretzky on
I will.
So many people. The reason Wayne Gretzky won so many championships is because other people did all the work for him so he could take the credit. Bonnie died a hero's death on that fucking pony.
Yeah.
A hero's death, Jack. A hero's death.
She got on that horse and took chances.
Whenever
Wayne Gretzky
I find a way,
could Wayne Gretzky ride a pony over a fence? No.
Right?
But Wayne Gretzky never tried.
Jack, they would throw a dummy on the horse instead of letting Wayne Gretzky do it. Just saying. That fucker, unathletic. Wayne Gretzky is an unathletic, alcoholic piece of shit. Fuck Wayne Gretzky. Next up on the show.
I hate you. I hate you.
Hockey sucks. Gone with the Wind. General thoughts, I guess, right? Is that what we're gonna do?
I guess. I mean, okay. The second half, is such an anchor on this movie. Everything post intermission might as well have not happened because it's the same ending as part one.
Yes,
it's the same ending.
It's just a better mic drop ending on the second one than it is the first one. Like, I'll say the second half of the movie could have been 30 minutes. You could have cut that all down to about 30 to 45 minutes, put it on the end of the first half, and you have yourself a 2 hour and 20 minute movie that is better than this 4-hour version of it. You don't need most of the stuff in the second half.
That being said, the photography in the first half is so good.
Cinema.
It's gorgeous.
The cinematography for Gone with the Wind is some of the best cinematography I've ever seen on film to date. It is to say Gone with the Wind is a technical achievement is an understatement. It is a gorgeously made movie in every regard. The editing, the production design, the cinematography, the costumes, the makeup. Most of the performances, I would say, also are very, very good. Like Clark Gable, Vivien Leigh, Olivia de Havilland, and even Hattie McDaniel are all really good at playing the parts that they've been written. But I just think the script for this movie is not good. It's a pretty awful, dated, racist, misogynist script that does not hold up whatsoever, and that really hurts the film's final product. But I think that on the whole, the technical aspect of this movie is so undeniably incredible that you're watching the movie and you have problems, but you are visually looking at it. You're I'm having a good time just staring at the photography that you're presenting to me.
The escape, the shot of the carriage and horse set against the burning Georgia background, that shot is gorgeous. In the very beginning, there's one of just 2 people or 1 person overlooking the Terra plantation, and that shot is gorgeous. There's 5 or 6 shots that you could just hang on a wall somewhere, and people would be like, "Oh, that's nice, that's great. Where did you get that?"
The silhouettes, the deep focus, all the different techniques they use, moving cameras that do giant sweeping shots, pulling back. I think there's this is one of the most deserving best cinematography winners I've ever seen in my life. And I'm glad it won. I I'm glad this won a lot of it. This movie won 8 Oscars.
Mhm.
I don't know if it deserves all of them, but it definitely deserves most of its below the line ones of what was nominated. There's a little movie that was not nominated for a lot of technicals that should be beating this in most. That this guy also directed in the same year. But I will say cinematography deserves to go Gone with the Wind.
Best original song and best original score, Be Happy.
Deserve more.
Okay,
Including
let's do this. You know,
including Best Supporting Actress, which she was not nominated. The fact that Margaret Hamilton was not nominated for playing the Wicked Witch of the West in The Wizard of Oz, let alone win, is absolutely an atrocious oversight by the Academy.
Okay, I will give you this. She deserved the nomination. However,
the win.
Hattie McDaniel, while the character she plays is not written well, she is fucking incredible.
She's very good at playing a racist slave caricature, Jack, but that's a bad character, and that I don't think that character should be an awarded Oscar figure.
You're saying you want to take away the first Oscar won by an African American person for this movie?
Yes, because I think everyone in the world. I think everyone.
Oh, you thought you had him trapped.
No, you don't. Because let's go ask anyone to watch that performance and go, yeah, I'm proud that we won for that one. No one's proud that this performance even exists. Hattie McDaniel is great, a great actress and great performance, playing one of the most atrocious stereotypes ever put to screen. Sorry. I don't think people are going to freaking lose their shit if this character is not an Oscar-winning character.
You thought you had him, Jack.
Get fucked, you Canadian Texan.
Okay, are we gonna? Okay, let's just get this over with, because I think we're gonna be here all night if we keep Gone with the Wind or The Wizard of Oz. Let's
The
just
Wizard
get
of Oz
this over with, so we can put a hammer in the cocktail or whatever. It's The Wizard of Oz. Like, it's not.
It's not a contest.
No,
it's like not a contest.
It's not.
One is severely hampered by incredible racism, and the other is the most delightful classic musical made before Singing in the Rain. Like, The Wizard of Oz is one of the greatest film musicals ever made. The music is still great. Judy Garland, at like, what is she, like 14 in this movie, is incredible. And they made a special Oscar to give her because they were afraid that no one would nominate her because she was a kid. So they gave her a special juvenile Oscar and then retired that Oscar after she won it. Like, it's the Judy Garland Oscar.
Like,
and like, that's how
don't
good
need this anymore.
Exactly. And like, yeah, Over the Rainbow won. Great. One of the greatest songs ever written for film. An incredible piece of art. The entire soundtrack is great. The score is great. The fact that you can look at the visual effects of this movie and they are better than fucking Morbius that came out this year is nuts. That's nuts. Like, this movie is almost 100 years old and is a better made, better shot, better acted, better technical achievement in film than, I would argue, 60% of films that have come out in the last 100 years. The Wizard of Oz is like Victor Fleming's better movie this year. Narratively, script-wise, every performance is better than all of them in Gone with the Wind. I would take Judy Garland, Margaret Hamilton, the guy who plays the Scarecrow, I think his name is Ray Bolger, Frank fucking Morgan as the Wizard of Oz. Like, I would take all the performances in The Wizard of Oz over everyone not named Clark Gable and mostly not named Vivien Leigh. Like, those are the only two performances in Gone with the Wind that I think even stack up to The Wizard of Oz. That movie's just Munchkinland, Jack. Look at fucking Munchkinland. And the actual city of Oz. The Emerald City. Two of the best practical sets ever put in a film. Like, oh my God. How can you look at me and go, oh, pretty colors. If we're going to go pretty color for pretty color, Wizard of Oz has more pretty colors.
Okay, yes. It's got emerald green and gold and golden brick roads. I think the Atlanta, like the oh fucking hell. Listen to me. I will give you the production. I will give you this. The production design in Wizard of Oz is incredible. So is the production design in Gone with the Wind.
They both are very good, but Wizard of Oz is better.
You know, just to build a set, then light it on fire, and then call the second half incredible. Like the Wizard of Oz is 145, maybe, right? Like 140 something in length.
Minutes. It's like I think it's under 2 hours.
I think it's definitely under 2 hours. It's like 140 something.
Yeah, it's like an hour.
They just burned the sets, and they're like, anyway, we're back at Terra Plantation. Now we're in a shack. I really like the shack from like the 8th Annie and or Ashley and Scarlet scene where they're like, I can't believe I don't know how to split rails. Yeah. When would you ever have to do that? Because you've been rich.
My big thing is the only area that you can even make an argument in comparison to the two is technical achievement. And like, I think Wizard of Oz wins on sets because it has more complex and complicated and dynamic and bigger sets that are used consistently throughout the movie. It has better makeup effects that are as good as makeup effects today. It has better costumes. Like, I think all the costumes of the Wizard of Oz are much more striking. I think that the editing in the Wizard of Oz is better. It's tighter. The pacing on the Wizard of Oz goes and never stops. I'll grant you the cinematography in Gone with the Wind is better than the Wizard of Oz, but I think it's like close. I don't think it's like a shootout. I think it's a shootout, not like one vastly over the other. I think when it comes to this, but then when we get to above the line, I think Wizard of Oz starts dunking on Gone with the Wind. Like, I think when it comes to the script, the Wizard of Oz is destroying it in every aspect. I think I would take the entire ensemble of the Wizard of Oz versus the entire ensemble of Gone with the Wind, and I would give it to the Wizard of Oz. Because I think that while Clark Gable and Vivien Leigh are great, I think they're the only great performances. While I do think McDaniel and de Havilland are good, I think that Garland is better than both of them. I think that Frank Morgan is better than both of them. I think that Margaret Hamilton is better than everyone in Gone with the Wind. I don't see how you can look at the performances of the Wizard of Oz and be like, oh man, Clark Gable just, bitch slapped the fuck out of that person so they get to win. And like, if you're going to put a gun in my head and go bigger cinematic achievement / movie that I'd rather watch, both fall into the Wizard of Oz camp over Gone with the Wind, because Gone with the Wind, 4 hours long. I'm not going to want to rewatch that. But if we're going to go for cinematic achievement, period, like, both are very, very important to the history of cinema and had great achievement. But if we're going to break down which achievement I think is more important, The Wizard of Oz being the first real, huge-scale color musical is much more important to the history of Hollywood than Gone with the Wind. Because I think Gone with the Wind is a movie that we can honestly start to forget to the whims of time and just remember that the cinematography was really important. Because I think that's the only thing that movie ever offers up anymore, is that the actual cinematography is great. Yes, Bar, I know Clark Gable didn't win. But we're going to talk about that in extra credit. We'll talk about it in extra credit, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, I just totally filibustered you, which is another thing we'll talk extra credit. Alex, go ahead.
No, I do think that for 4 hours, the fact that we can't remember more than maybe 2 lines out of Gone with the Wind, that's a real problem. I think
there's like 5 lines in Gone with the Wind total that I'm like, that was good.
I think, and we have and will continue to watch Best Picture winners. So we have like a pretty decent context for the surrounding parts around, the surrounding parts of Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind was problematic even for its time, which I think like we should probably address at some point. Where I wanted to wait until like Matthew was here for us to do the $1 million race.
Oh no, we'll get there. We'll gonna. We'll hold off on doing all the podcasts until we get the other two, just because I want them to have a say on the rest of what we do. But
yeah, well, we knew where Spence was going to fall. We had that vote in anyway.
I'm mostly holding out for Matthew because I know Matthew might have a different opinion than the rest of us. But
that's fair.
I don't want it hurt. So,
I will say that there, as hit as I was by the gorgeous cinematography in Gone with the Wind, I don't think there is a more like striking moment that we've had, at least in terms of cinematography, than Dorothy opening the door to Oz.
Oh my God.
I think that moment alone is the most gorgeous moment we've had so far for this entire show, extra credit included. That is that is the moment. I think now is where I kind of want to transition to us talking about, because I think we're while we're killing time, we're 30 minutes in. This is the year we've been building up to it. This is the year where the modern movie starts. Because this year, just pulling up the extra credit, we have a very well received, like legal. I don't want to say thriller, but legal drama. We have the musical fantasy film, and we have the like historical epic. This is the year that defined kind of what movies were going to be going forward, and what movies kind of still are now. And I just want to say, good job, y'all. We did it. Capra, Fleming, good on you. I'm really proud of y'all. Anybody else? The modern movie? Do we disagree? Did it happen earlier and I just missed it? Where?
No. I think this year. I think before this year, what we would define as what the modern age of film now is very much a Frank Capra world that we're living in. Yeah. Like Capra is defining what cinema is going to become and winning all the Oscars for it, which he deserves because like he's making what the future will be. And maybe we just haven't, maybe some of the other ones that would be qualified as like pushing us towards that aren't nominated. I'm sure a lot of the Chaplins from the 30s probably contribute to that. I'm sure that one Buster Keaton movie, The General, probably contributed to that. And Metropolis, things that weren't nominated probably helped. But I think in terms of things that we are watching because they were nominated for the Oscars, I think it's Capra. It's just all Capra, and then a couple of the other ones that are coming in. Like Mutiny on the Bounty, I think is a huge contributor to the Hollywood spectacle growth. I think you can't Stagecoach this year. Yeah, I think like You Can't Take It With You is probably. I think You Can't Take It With You, Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, It Happened One Night, Lady for a Day, are all like foundation laying films to build what Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and the year of 1939 bring. Where like we are starting to diversify genres, we're starting to figure out tone and style and substance and how to use film at its best, how to use cinematography to elevate what we're looking at and tell a story without saying anything. And I think between those three big ones specifically of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, The Wizard of Oz, and Gone with the Wind, a lot of that is completely built. And then also John Ford's Stagecoach also is a contributor to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to the extra credit because I'll say now I watched 5 films this week for it. I rewatched Mr. Smith and Wizard of Oz, watched Gone with the Wind, I watched Goodbye Mr. Chips, and I watched Stagecoach. So I watched like the 5 Best Picture nominees that people still talk about from that year. And we'll talk about them when we get to extra credit. But like I think you're right. I think like You Can't Take It With You last year is like the first movie that we watched, and it's like a transition film. It's like it's what Hollywood was and starting to look like Hollywood will be. And this is the year where all of what we know Hollywood to be starts exploding.
I think the only other movie that I would maybe want to mention is Robin Hood, because I think you could maybe probably draw lines to that in like modern, like not that it's like the same thing, but like modern superhero movies. Like you could start like seeing the connection of like just how we were going to start structuring things going forward. Jack, we've lost Jack completely. The modern movie, 1939. Thoughts?
What was the question? Sorry.
We've lost Jack completely.
Oh, okay, fair.
No, you're good. I just got distracted for a quick second.
Okay, great. Do we have an ETA on Spence?
From what I can tell, about 10 minutes.
Okay, we can riff for 10 minutes.
We can riff for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Right. I don't mean to like totally dog. I just think like I was like walking into this like knowing how important this movie is to the history of cinema, and I feel like I kind of understated and shat on it a little bit where I was like, we can forget about it. I don't think we can forget about this movie entirely, nor should we ever really forget about Gone with the Wind. But I think we should all unanimously start to get to this place where it's like, we can respect the technical achievement of Gone with the Wind as being some of the most important things ever done for cinema, but we can forget what it's about. We can like not celebrate. We can not celebrate the content of the movie.
We don't have to celebrate the content is what Gone with the Wind is, but could I just defend is a word that I don't want to use here, but for lack of a better word, Gone with the Wind is an adaptation of a book, and many passages from the book are straight up in the movie. Like anytime there's a title card or that text scroll, that's straight out of the book.
Oh, I believe it.
Like I don't think it's like, like they could have, like the movie didn't have to adapt those lines from the book, but like it's not 100% on the movie that those lines exist and are part of Gone with the Wind. That's just that's from the book, and that's them being trying to adapt the book as faithfully as they could have. But then again, the source material is flawed and it's not particularly great. But I think the technical achievements are more than and the performances in this film are more than enough to kind of balance out. And I can't deny how incredible of a technical achievement this is. We said earlier there's like 5 or 6 shots from this movie that you could hang in your house, that you could just hang on a wall. This is a gorgeous film, and the performance, I think Vivien Leigh so far is the best actress nominee we've seen up to this point in Oscars history.
Probably, yeah.
Like she's currently my number 1 for winners anyways.
Like all time, or like just of we watched so far?
Of we watched so far. I've completely.
I was gonna say there's other best actress winners that are coming 40 years from now. That if you have Vivien Leigh higher, we're gonna have like problems.
Yeah, no, I've deleted all my old Letterboxd lists from Oscars, and I've just I've started new, and now I'm just updating it as we go along. So yeah, no, but like she's so good. I love her.
She's great. No, Vivien Leigh is great.
Like if I were to pick a standout performer in this movie, it would be Vivien Leigh.
I don't think she's my standout performer.
Oh, snap.
Because I really like Clark Gable, but Vivien, like the arc that Vivien Leigh, that Scarlett O'Hara has throughout the film is incredible. I think that Vivien Leigh
it's a character transformation that is completely unearned in the last 3 minutes of the movie. That's on the script. But like the thing is, she's a character that is very static and unlikable through the entire runtime, and in the last 3 minutes has a change of heart that I don't even buy, because with the actions of the character earlier in the movie would support that this isn't even a real character change for her. It's just a sudden I don't want to be alone moment. And like I think Vivien Leigh, this isn't like shots at Vivien Leigh's performance. She's doing that character really well. I'm just saying that character is a bad character. Scarlett O'Hara is a poorly constructed and written character, but welcome to Gone with the Wind. No one's a good character. But I think when it comes to the performance that I think elevates their character the most, it's Clark Gable. I think that Rhett Butler is a character that is boring, lifeless, and bland on the page, but Clark Gable steps into it and gives a totally new context, persona, and life to the role. He changes inherently who Rhett Butler is into a character that could be an annoying old dick, and he's Tony Stark. Like he's Tony Stark. He's charming.
That's such a good comparison.
He's just a charm. I've said this before. If we did a classic Avengers casting, Clark Gable is Iron Man, and it's not a contest. Like Clark Gable has to be the Iron Man of the 30s and 40s. But like he's so, and James Stewart's Captain America. Anyway, but Clark Gable is so good in this movie, and I think all 3 of the performances he's given in the Best Picture Best Picture winners we've seen have been great. I think I'm a Clark Gable fan through 3 of his performances, through probably his 3 biggest performances, and I think this is the worst of the 3, but that's not on him. That's just on the movie that he's in, not giving him much to work with. But I think that he changes someone that could have been the most unlikable cocksucker in the history of film into a charming, a little brooding, a little hurt, a little bit of darkness behind the eyes person that by the end, when he says, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," you're like, fucking A right, dude. You're like, fucking A right, Clark Gable.
I mean, that's not the reaction that Spence had.
What was Spence's reaction?
their reaction was, "Fuck this guy."
Are you kidding me?
No,
No!
I think that genuinely happened.
Fuck Scarlett
You'll
O'Hara.
get to
She's a
see it at
terrible
some point.
person. Scarlett's
I
a
agree.
terrible person.
The thing with Scarlett O'Hara is that she sucks. Like, she's the worst.
100%.
Like, she stays stealing people's like husbands. She keeps trying to steal I swear, he looks like Prince Charles from Spencer. He looks so much like that guy, and honestly has the same acting style. Like, someone find out what that guy's name is. Somebody
On it.
Yeah, Scarlett's actually kind of the worst, and everyone around her is just like, I guess she's my friend, and it's the Civil War. I guess this is what we've got. It's like Arthur or something. Farth?
No, oh, you mean the actress name? I was like, that's Ashley.
No, Ashley. Well, yeah, Ashley is the worst.
Yeah.
Ashley No Chin, whatever his last name was.
Ashley, fucking get out of my face, guy.
No, get out of my face guy got killed by measles.
Measles.
That's true. Hated him. Charles.
Measles
his name.
preceded by pneumonia.
Leslie Howard. Ashley is played by Leslie.
No. Who's the name of the guy that from Spencer?
Okay, I've got it.
Oh, that's what we're asking about. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were asking about Ashley. Jack Farthing.
Jack Farthing, the worst. Yeah, look up the guy from Spencer. It's like that, but with lighter hair. Might as well be the same guy. Could be the same guy. It could be like a Stormfront situation. Anyway,
Stormfront situation. Holy shit, Alex! Christ! Wow.
Sorry, we were talking about The Boys earlier. And
do we want to just turn this into a The Boys spoiler cast for like 10 minutes? I'm down.
I'd rather you didn't.
And yeah, instead of doing retrocasting for the Avengers,
I mean, we could just retrocast the Avengers. Why not? That's a good time to do while we wait.
Honestly, yeah, let's do it. All right. I feel like we had a starter template.
Matthew.
We had a starter template. Oh, Matthew's here. Thank goodness.
Matthew's great. Matthew, thoughts on Gone with the Wind while we quickly start thinking about retrocasting the Avengers in the 1930s and 40s. Oh, never mind. We're good. We won't be doing that this week, I guess.
Maybe next time, folks.
Maybe next time.
Massive fucking idiot.
You are going to sit here and tell me this 16-year-old kid who steals people's women or men and does not understand anything about human emotion or anything about relationships
I
and is
have
like a
been
total
sitting
asshole?
on this. Jack Pinchuk. Jack.
Oh, I thought that was me.
Have you ever met a woman?
Zachariah Pinchuk has not touched a tit.
No, here's my thing. Here's the thing. This whole movie, Jack is treating like he doesn't know what fucking red flags are. It's, I love this girl. She's pretty.
Jack
she has great sex, and that's it. And every single conversation you have is an excuse for this film.
Jack is Charles. What? Jack is the Charles of this film.
You have no idea what a red flag is.
We're gonna give you the measles, Jack.
You are excusing problems in the movie. It has that many fucking problems. It's not a good movie.
Charles of this film.
We're gonna give you the measles,
universe. Jack. Can you say it's better than Wizard of Oz? That many fucking problems. I don't care if it looks pretty. 4 hours is too fucking long. Clark Gable is a shithead. I fucking hate Rhett Butler. Nothing.
Whoa!
Better. Dude, I fucking hate that dude.
Let's go right now, because Rhett Butler is not a perfect human being, but he is significantly better than Scarlett O'Hara.
He's a horrible human being who should not be codified as a hero. He shouldn't have this big.
He's not a hero.
He has this big, overwhelming self when he leaves. No, you're saying, it's so bad. He's ready to give a damn.
No,
fuck that
I'm
dude.
saying good
he
for
gave his wife a fucking abortion by throwing her down the stairs, and he's a hero. Fuck that.
He's
dude.
not. Why are you calling him a hero? I'm not calling him a hero. I said good for him for getting out of a shitty, abusive relationship with a piece of shit like kid. Scarlett O'Hara is a horrible human being, and he is a horrible human being, but neither of them should be with each other, and he does not deserve the shit that she kept pulling for the entire second half of the movie, where she very openly is like, I wish I were fucking someone else. I don't want to be with you.
He was
abusive. And he goes, then let's get a divorce and I'll get the fuck out. And she goes, no, that would ruin my life further. Which is like,
I wasn't
fuck
paying attention when that happened.
That's fucking dumb. That is the fuck. And she literally is like, no, you are forced to stay in a relationship with me because I can't be alone. And that's literally her whole reasoning, even though he's like, I'll leave. I'll get out of your life. You don't want me. So I'll go and move on. She's like, no, that's terrible. She's literally keeping him locked in that place, stuck with his own failure and his own life that he hates for an hour and 50-minute runtime of the second half of the movie. So when he finally goes,
Second half.
exactly the entire second half. So the literal fucking end of this movie, when he's like, all right, I'm done. I'm leaving. He's like, I'm leaving you. I can't. I'm getting out. I'm doing what's best for me. And she's like, but what about me? And he's like, frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I'm like, yes,
Like,
good. Get out, dude. Run.
You explaining it makes more sense, but I don't think it excuses his action. I don't think he's.
I'm not excusing. No. Stop. I'm not excusing his actions. I'm not even justifying them. I have said the entire time they're both bad people for different bad reasons. So neither of them, they are toxic to each other. And I'm saying, good for him for being the one to get the fuck out while she's trying to keep him there again. With the ending being like, she's an emotionally manipulative fucking piece of shit. At the end of the movie, she's like, no, now I really love you. I really love you and I want to make this work. And he's like, bye. No. I'm like, good. That is a good for him moment for me. Like, good for him.
Can we unite in saying fuck Jack Pinchuk? I
Fuck
think
Jack Pinchuk.
he's the
Fuck
enemy
Jack
this week.
Pinchuk. Fuck Jack Pinchuk.
You can take it off, but it doesn't fucking matter because you have the objective wrong opinion about this fucking movie. You are so far out of left field in
Racism only a half star off. Racism.
You can't excuse the racism and the absolute uselessness of 2 hours of this 4-hour fucking movie. This is overly long for the sake of glorifying itself. It's fucking Marilyn Manson sucking its own dick for the second half. We don't care. There is no story to tell. It is over when she's back home, and that's the end of the movie. At the end when she gets to Tara, that's like a 4.5 star movie. Like this drop, the second half dropped at 2 stars. Genuinely.
Oh, you thought they were fighting each other, Jack. They're actually fighting you. Great. Glad we did that.
Matthew, what are your thoughts on Gone with the Wind?
I think I understand that, like, you know, it is a movie in 1939. So, you know, I have to view it from that lens and push away like how much more progressive we've been as a country. And I think viewing it in that lens, it is a lot better. I think, you know, it is really well shot. Performances are fantastic. And I'm surprised that the 4-hour length didn't bother me that much. Like, I was mostly compelled by the story, which is very surprising because I have a hard time with, like, you know, movies that are this long. So I have to say, I think even, you know, racism aside, I think it is a great story, but like it is that but then like it does bring it down to 4 stars. That's like,
thank you, Matthew. Thank you. Everything I wanted to say right there.
Well, Jack, if you were good at saying your own opinions, you wouldn't need Matthew to cover you.
Jesus Christ,
Let's kill shot.
Maybe if I could get a fucking word in, I'd be able to say my.
You had almost a full hour of this show, 1/3 of the hosting panel.
Jack, this is not the week where you get to call that because Alex can back me up. I went, okay, Jack, you have the floor. For 5 minutes, we let you go. We let you try and talk, and you couldn't figure out what you wanted to say.
You were going to the boys and recasting the Avengers before you got an opinion out.
Yeah, Jack, we literally sat here talking about, all right, I guess we're going to recast the Avengers with 30s and 40s actors because you couldn't formulate your own thought on the movie. Like, we gave you the time. Now everyone's here. Should we do it? Should we do all the podcasts in that podcast?
Do the thing.
Hey, Matthew, hit the song.
Aw, damn it.
Asian.
Yeah.
Welcome to $1 Million Racist, the podcast within a podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Cohen, and today we are going to be ranking how racist is Gone with the Wind. I'll go ahead and start by saying, who fucking boys in a racist movie, folks? Hattie McDaniel, Pork, all the slave caricatures in this are very similar to Song of the South. Very similar in the sense, having seen both, very similar in the sense that they show slaves happy to be slaves in a very uncomfortable way. Down to like they're like into town and they're like talking about like, oh yeah, we're gonna go help our southern owners in fighting the North and all shit, which is like I guess maybe historically accurate, but doesn't make it any less uncomfortable to watch.
Gotta go, Scarlett. I gotta go dig a ditch.
Exactly. And also the amount of racist language used, like in a way where it's not like, oh, we're like berating and abusing our slaves. It's just general passing dropping of the D word. I'm just like nonchalant, like throwing it around. So I'll be honest with you. I'm voting this number 1 on $1 Million Racist. I think this is the most racist movie to win.
Bring
Best
up
Picture.
the poll,
So
fam.
really quick, I want to make a posit real quick.
Go ahead.
So this movie is racist 100%. I wouldn't put it above Cimarron because it at least has characters of color in a dominant and.
I mean,
like,
so does Cimarron.
Here's the thing. I would put it below Cimarron because I think that Gone with the Wind, I think at least tries to have its like minority characters have a voice and part in the narrative. Cimarron's purely feels like exploitative. That's how
Can
I
I
feel.
counter with it made me look at significantly more characters? I was more
That's
uncomfortable
fair.
because like Isaiah dies
Yeah.
almost like 30 minutes into the movie, but we stayed with like we stayed with Pork.
I will
Pork
say this.
is hold on.
Prissy.
They raid Terra and destroy it, whatever. But Pork lived. We were stuck with fucking Pork for another 2 hours.
They
Like
took the chickens, but they left Pork.
I would personally put it above Great Zicto, but below Cimarron, so I'm a little conflicted.
I think
Can
it's
we
number 1.
Okay. Motion for above. It's more racist than
Let's
Cowboy.
say above Cowboy.
Yeah, it's definitely above
Everyone can
Cowboy.
agree it's more racist. Yeah, okay.
More racist than Cimarron. Really?
And
Okay.
Wow.
We've
That's
lost.
where it stops.
I was ready to put this at number 1. All right.
I
fine.
thought
If
it
it
was
beat
number
Cimarron,
1.
I would have put it at 1,
Wow.
but because you guys put Cimarron below Ziegfeld, I just couldn't let it happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's nuts.
Cannot
Don't win now.
agree.
Number 3
This
on
is
$1 Million
me on the back.
Races.
I hate this list. This
You-
This is
you
the.
know-
I want to
Go
note.
against
I want it noted now. This is the first show where I've been on in the week to give my opinion, and I've lost the fight. This is the
Good.
first.
Fuck
This
you.
is
You
the
should
first
win
loss
everything,
I've.
Coho.
First L I've taken on the show.
The white
all right.
man should win everything, Caleb.
I have a fun
Matt,
fact
oh yeah, go ahead,
about
Matthew. Go ahead.
Hattie
Fun
McDaniel,
facts with Matthew.
Matthew, go.
who said that she was Hattie McDaniel was criticized by some African Americans for playing that role, and then her response was she would rather be making $700 a week playing a maid than being one.
Nah.
Yeah.
Get fucked.
There you go.
Uh,
How about that? Matthew, hit the song. We had to close the podcast out, so Matthew, hit the song.
Asian.
There we go. All right, so now we got what else do we have for podcast and then podcast? Oh, we have one more to do. Sorry. No, Spencer already did How Gay Is My
already did
Valley
that
without
one.
you.
we did
We did that one without you.
No, you
Um,
can't fucking do that without me. That's
Yeah,
my
I did.
segment.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I did that without. It's my
Show me-
segment
no,
actually.
Show me the list. Show me the fucking list.
Bring up
No,
the list.
bring
Bring
up
up
the
How Gay
list.
Is My Valley. Show Spence where we.
Me and
Show
Matthew
Spence where
didn't get
Goblin
an opinion
sits.
on this. That's not
Yeah, no, you didn't because you were late.
during Pride Month.
You were supposed to.
silent. Yeah, during Pride Month. Be on time. It's number 5.
You moved it earlier. Not my fault.
You started early.
It sits at number 5 on the list below
That's
Wings
fair. I'd
Above
probably
You
put it
Know
there
That.
too.
There you go. Perfect.
we could.
You have
Alright.
no issues with it, Spence?
Huh?
You have no issues then?
I mean, I have issues in general, just not right now.
Okay,
That's
good.
valid.
Yeah.
You don't
All
We
right,
figured we knew
who
we
did-
were falling in.
Therapy.
That's why we were comfortable with.
I can't remember who does. I can't remember who does the song, and I can't remember what the song is.
I knew this is the problem with doing this bit. I told you when we started.
Alex hit the song for killing Nazis.
Asian.
Welcome to Killing Nazis, the podcast of the podcast. My name is Caleb Coho, and we are going to host Killing Nazis. Do Nazis die? Yep, because these southern motherfuckers get shanked and shot like they deserve to. Fuck the Confederacy. They are the American Nazis, and therefore we are going to rank them on Killing Nazis. So I can't remember.
We're gonna have so many
Is it
lists by
just-
the end of this.
That is the point. That is the point. That is Jack's
show
song.
could
Sorry,
take
Jack's
4
song
hours
was
to do
Killing
originally.
Nazis. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jack, that was
Jack,
your
what's
song.
the
You're going to
song?
close it. What was the song for Killing Nazis?
What?
That's what it
That's
Killing
right.
Nazis, baby. Okay, so wait, right now I think The Life of Emile Zola is the only one ranked on Killing Nazis, correct? Or not correct?
Hold up. Let me check.
Okay.
Why did you guys not rank You can't take it with you. So I
No,
forget to
not-
do this
no,
segment in my
No,
absence.
no Nazis.
Yes.
No
We
Nazis
didn't do
died
it
in the
there.
making of you. No Nazis
Yeah.
died in the making of you. Can't take it with you.
Okay.
We're only
Thought
gonna
we were
rank
gonna
the
do
movies
all
where
of them.
Nazis. The only move. No, we're only
Okay,
ranking
so
the ones where
there-
Nazis are
I
present
see.
in the film. Yeah.
There was not a list for killing Nazis, so I'm making that right now.
I believe it is just the life of Emile Zola.
Because there's only
So
one.
It
movie.
would
Yeah.
just be the life of Emile Zola.
I
That's the
mean,
only
if
one
it,
we
maybe All Quiet on the Western Front.
No Nazis.
I mean, they are German.
Yeah, but they're not
watch.
Nazis.
No, Nazis.
I mean, wasn't I forget the neopolitics of
You just call every German a Nazi. Unless
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
comedy.
Listen, Spence. When we get to the Sound of Music, never mind. That's a bad example.
Hitler rose to power post World War I, and turned over if anything happened during then that codified it.
I can't believe I just did that.
Well, I'm never gonna be president. No, be president. No, never gonna be president.
I forgot the plot of Sound of Music for like 2 seconds. Yeah, killing Nazis. We'll rank Sound of Music. I was gonna say like we can't like get to like I don't know fucking is there The Good German if it won Best Picture. We can't rank that, can we? Is that a World War II Nazi movie also? I don't know. Django Unchained, we wouldn't be putting killing Nazis on it because no Nazis die. Actually, we would because
I mean,
fuck it, never mind.
You
It's
are
never gonna
picking
give us time.
every movie that we absolutely could put on this list.
I'm trying to think of like Germans in film, but all the times that the Germans are
I gave you
Nazis.
one, and you yelled at me about it.
Which one?
All Quiet on the Western
Why
Front.
on the Western Front?
Yeah, but
They're-
okay, but they're not Nazis in that. That's what I'm saying.
Not.
Okay, so do we think that this is better or worse at killing Nazis than Life of Emile Zola? I think this is
Better.
better because we see Nazis die.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
better.
It's pretty good.
Better.
Gone with the Wind goes to the number 1 on killing
Yeah,
Nazis.
yeah,
Jack at the song.
Boy!
All right, we have what? So we have stand-up performer, extra credit, and the final piece of the segment, I believe, is what we have left.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
What are we doing?
Okay.
Hi, Javi.
So also, I
Should we do our ratings
you,
and
Javi.
stand-up performers now? Or
Yeah, let's do ratings.
do
and I think
ratings.
because let's do this in reverse order. Spence, what did you give? What did you give Gone with the Wind?
Quinn. I did 2.5. I think I spoiled it earlier. I think that first half is genuinely incredible. One of the best films I've ever seen, like in terms of technical aspect of this 30s era. And then the intermission ends, and it becomes just overly long, boring, with nothing to say and no one to get attached to. It is genuinely uninteresting. And even then, the filmmaking gets actively worse. And the second half didn't exist. This would be among maybe my top 10 best picture winners of all time. And then it just keeps going.
Coho.
I give it 3.5. I think that Gone with the Wind. I'm sort of in the same boat as Spence, but I'm much higher on the first half. I think the first half is like really great. Racism aside, I think that technical achievement in the actual story is not like the worst ever. But the second half, I think, is a terrible movie. I think like the acting goes down a cliff for the most part. I think that the script falls off. I think it becomes super stagnant and stale, and I don't really care about anyone anymore. I think the film basically grinds to a halt for 2 hours, and I think that you could have cut the entire second half of this movie out with the exception of like 4 scenes and just stitch them on the end and made a 2 hour and 12-minute movie. So yeah, well, on the whole, I think while the technical achievement's really important and really great, I think that the movie itself is not good necessarily. I don't think the script is good. I think the performances are all very solid. I think Clark Gable and Vivian Leigh and Hattie McDaniel and Olivia de Havilland are all very good performances. But yeah, I would say I like this movie, and even then, it's on the low end of my I like it scale. It's basically on the verge of 3.5. I just swung the half star up for the technical achievement.
Matthew.
I gave it a 4 stars. I think the second half does drop off. I understand, but I also don't like the characters, but I find them very interesting to follow, even if I'm not attached to them. I think Vivian Leigh and Clark Gable, they are very fantastic. They're all the performances are really good. Vivian Leigh, basically, she was like a nobody when this movie came out. So yeah, I think props to her. And I already talked about I understand also just with racism. I'm viewing it from a different lens for the 1930s, but
Sure.
that still does bring it down.
Jack.
Yeah. Much like what I gave it 4.5 out of 5. Much like what Matthew said.
You know what?
What?
I'm gonna swing it. I'm gonna swing it down to 3. I just went to look at the rest of my stuff that I have by it, and there's things that I have at 3 that I think are better than Gone with the Wind. So I'm gonna swing it down to a 3.
Go.
First time ever. I'm gonna change my rating
I'm gonna
mid-show.
have to recalculate that.
Sorry.
Good.
I have to
More
redo
work
that.
for Jack.
I'm gonna make you redo it.
Yeah, but I'm also gonna have to recalculate the decade rating now. But that's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, we can riff
I mean,
while,
here's
you,
the thing.
while you do
This is
that.
going to change by 0.1, I think, and then you just change everything else by, I think, 0.01 then. I think that's how the math
so
works.
this is down to 3.4 now.
Jack, don't do the recalc just yet.
We're gonna talk. Hey,
Alex.
Jack. We're gonna riff while you do all
Just
that.
do what you want. What are you changing it to?
I'm really on the fence, y'all, because I think I'm gonna stay. You know what? I'm gonna stay right here. We're gonna stay at 3 stars. Fleming, your film craft has impressed me enough to not give you the full mid stamp. You can really put together a shot. You can really light the heck out of a scene until you run out of money somewhere around the second half. You can really make me laugh with funny character deaths. Your casting is on point because everyone that's a weenie is supposed to be a weenie, and everyone that's cool is played by Clark Gable. I really appreciate all of the facts as I have put it. This is like rough. This is hard. But like honestly, for a second there, I thought, what if, and wouldn't it be really funny if I just went to 2.5 for like a minute? I was on that wavelength, but I've stayed at 3, and I think that's probably where we should. That's probably where we should stay.
All right. So with that, the average rating for Gone with the Wind, I've done the recalculations now, is 3.4 out of 5. And with that, the decade rating, I'm counting both from the 20s because it's just 2 movies from the 20s. So the 20s and 30s have a rating of 2.7 out of 5.
Yo, the
Honestly, it should be
30s.
lower. It could be lower on here. So Alec, if you drop it, it's closer to mid.
That's true, but I think it's important to
This is
note that
already
we
mid,
didn't.
though.
Okay,
It's
hang on,
mid and a
because
half.
Jack and I talked about this. This is purely the fault of like 3 movies that we did not like. This is purely the fault of Cimarron, Cavalcade, and what else?
The Great
Great
Ziegfeld.
Ziegfeld,
The Great
Broadway
Ziegfeld.
Melody.
Yeah. So like this is the fault of like 3 different movies. The rest of the 30s and 20s, 30s was fine. We liked a lot of those movies. This is just like a really misleading count because we gave some of them like a star. This is the real problem. with
Broadway
having
Melody
such
had
harsh
1.1.
judges.
Great Ziegfeld had 0.8. Cimarron had 0.6. And I think Cavalcade had 1.2. So like those
0.8. We gave the Great Ziegfeld.
dropped it.
Yeah, we cratered the score. So
I'm
like
the only one
some
who
of this
gave
is gonna have to be
Cavalcade
taken.
above of
When we
half
do
star.
this, we're gonna have to do like grade on a curve, because like
Yeah, I love that.
we like some of those movies. It's just a lot of them, like Grand Hotel, kind of went into like a 3 kind of spot.
3.2.
And then we didn't have Mutiny. I think we only gave like 4 and something.
4.2.
Yeah. So like this means something, but not what you think it means. It just means that we overwhelmingly hated some of it. We have some very harsh judges. Off second half of the screen. Off this too. Right here. Anyway, so we have to do standout performers, and I don't know that we have. I mean, I can say that like honestly, one of the standout performers of the entire decade. Our good friend Clark Gable.
Yeah.
Clark Gable,
I
stand
will
out of the
fight
decade. 3
Out of decade,
great
yeah.
performances.
Feels it. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 great performances in all 3 of the Best Picture winners he is in. He is, in my personal opinion, he is the stand-up performer of 2 of his 3 movies.
Mhm.
And like, I think that's like, yeah. So I'll spoil it. I think he's the stand-up performer of Gone with the Wind with a bullet. I think that he's the best performance. I think Vivian Leigh is close. I think she's very good. But I think she ultimately doesn't do anything. Her character is terrible, so she like plays the same part for 4 hours and doesn't really get much to really explore as a character. It's a stagnant performance. I think Clark Gable like I said earlier, I think Clark Gable completely changes this character from page to performance. On the page, this could be the most unlikable, terrible human being in the world, and instead he Tony Starks the fuck out of it, where he makes him suave, charming, a little bit even endearing and likable at points. So I think Clark Gable as Rhett Butler is the best performance in the movie for certain. However, props to Olivia de Havilland, Vivien Leigh, and Hattie McDaniel. I think those are 3 performances of note to talk about, though I think Hattie McDaniel, again, is playing a very problematic part. I think she's a very great actress.
And the rest of y'all are real quiet.
Vivien Leigh
we're
is
losing the
way-
swing vote, Coho.
Vivien Leigh. Here's my thing. Vivien Leigh. The movie again, I think is actively boring in its second half, but the fact that she can be great, like amazing, over 4 fucking hours of a.
You mean good at being the
character.
one thing? The
She's
one
a-
thing that
has
she
a
does for
character-
4 hours?
She has a fucking arc.
No, she doesn't.
Yeah.
No, she does not.
She actually.
No, she does not. In
goes
the
from
beginning,
being a
hey,
fucking
in the beginning of
child
this movie-
to an adult to scare, and then having to go through the
Nope.
weight of everything that happened
Nope.
in her later years.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
she's
in the beginning of this
amazing.
movie. No, she's not. In the beginning of this movie, she is a petulant, irritating child. And at the end, she is a petulant, irritating adult. She is the same person 4 hours later. The difference is she's like 10 years older performance-wise, doing the same character. She does not change. Her character is the same toxic asshole who kills 2 people. She is the cause of death of 2 people. 3, really. 3 people. She kills 3 people on
Black
accident
Queen.
out of her own toxic behavior. She is a horrible human. Vivien Leigh plays the same part for 4 hours. I think she's very good at doing the one mode, but that to say she has an arc tells me you were on your phone for 3.5 of the 4 hours of Gone with the Wind, because she is the same character from minute 1 to minute 582. Like she's
That
the
doesn't
exact
work
same
out.
character,
You're
and
wrong.
she's good
Math
at
is- math is
she's
correct.
good
Math
at
is
that.
cool.
She's good at that one character. I think Clark Gable is doing more to elevate the part that he is given, because that character is a bad character as well, but he does something with it where I don't want him to kill himself within the first 3 minutes. Like I don't think Rhett Butler is the most unwatchable protagonist I've ever seen, whereas Scarlett O'Hara gets there at points. So yeah, I don't understand this. Oh, she has an arc thing. She does not. She's the same person.
The top half of the screen is being real quiet. Matthew, your standout performer for Gone with the Wind.
My standout performer is also Vivien Leigh.
With that,
I know she's incredible, and I do think she has an arc throughout. Like her character changes throughout. Not saying like she becomes a better person or anything, but she does change, and I think she does an amazing job of just playing this like terrible person. So
yes, my stand-up performer is also Vivien Leigh for the exact same reasons.
Coho keeps losing. Yes.
I don't actually believe that Spence even likes Vivien Leigh. I think that just
I think she's
doing it to try
I think
and
she's
get
great.
wins.
She's
I think
actually
she's great.
great.
I think she's great as well, but again, I think she's really great at playing the one stagnant role in the movie. Like it's a stagnant character.
Clark Gable is less stagnant because he's only in it for like an hour of the 4-hour movie.
Well, no. He is in it for like an hour and a half, and he is also very much a stagnant character, but the difference is he's less stagnant than Scarlett because he actually does have an arc.
Also,
He does have an arc.
Also,
Vivien
Clark Gable
Leigh
should not be in lead actor. That's horrible fucking category fraud.
I disagree with that. I think he is absolutely a lead
yeah,
actor.
the movie's so long that like I guess
We talked
No,
about
you-
this. That's not a runtime thing. I don't
No,
think
yeah.
even with the Sims at the time, that's not a runtime thing. That's just where you decide to say, anyway, this is your lead actor. I hope you like him.
Okay, just really quick. So we can all agree that like at worst he's above Wings, or she's above Wings.
No.
No. Let me be very clear. I think that she is number 5 on this list. I put Vivien Leigh at 5,
That's
above
fair.
Life of Miozola, below Claudette Colbert from A Have One Night.
I put her at 4.
Here, I'll see. Okay, so here. So does anyone? Let's start. Is she better or worse than I think Paul Mooney for Emile Zola? Is she better than Emile Zola?
better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better than Paul Mooney.
Is she better than Claudette Colbert?
Yes.
That's 3. Okay. Is she better than Lionel Barrymore in Grand Hotel? All right, she's 4.
Lionel Barrymore rules the board.
Claudette Colbert is so good. I hate that she's fucking 5.
I'll be honest with you, Spence. I flipped my vote just to fucking spite you back. To be honest, I don't think she's better than Claudette Colbert, but I did it to fuck with you on this one.
The battle lines have been drawn. As the
Oh,
30s
hey, look,
is
Spence stays
coming.
losing. Spence stays losing. Get fucked.
All right, so your stand-up performances ranked Mutiny on the Bounty.
Okay.
You can't take it
But
with
I
you,
do
can't
want to say
hotel.
something. Vivian Lee's performance in the movie is the longest to ever win an Academy Award at 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 32 seconds.
I believe
That's
that.
true,
I
so-
believe that a lot.
Anyone
Right,
who
it's not
watched
more,
Gone with the
honestly.
Wind recently, happy birthday. Gone with the Wind joins us at number 4, and at number 5, It Happened One Night. That was your stand-up performances. Extra credit, Jack, get the song.
Play the clip.
Extra credit. We watched the movie.
So, who watched what? Because I watched 4 movies.
okay, who watched one extra credit? Watched
I
2
mean,
extra
yeah,
credits.
Okay, I watched Dark Victory. 4. I
Okay,
think.
who watched 3 extra credits? All right, and then we've got 4 and then 4 down below. So I guess I should start because I saw the least amount of them.
I mean, I've only seen 2 technically, I guess,
Let's
but
see.
I didn't watch them ahead of time.
So let's talk about. I feel like we spent a lot of time yelling about the Wizard of Oz, but does anybody have anything like overwhelmingly cool to say about the Wizard of Oz that we didn't earlier? Matthew, Adelaide. I mean, you.
It's just been like a decade since I've seen the movie.
Alright.
So.
Fair enough.
I most of my yelling was about like comparing it to Gone with the Wind. I didn't really get a good
We'll get to you.
like
We'll get to you.
summation of it. But yeah.
But I've been meaning to watch it. I just didn't get a chance this week.
Sorry, Spence, Wizard of Oz.
Good movie. It's better than the second half of Gone with the Wind, but not better than the first.
Yeah, shame we have to do the whole
Yeah.
whole movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I watched Wizard of Oz. It was a first time watch because I'd only seen bits and pieces like what they show you in like for the 45 minutes of a class where the teacher's completely checked out before the summer. And I'll be honest, I really liked it. I think that one top 5 definitely moments that we've had is Dorothy walking into Oz. I really like this whole movie, and it's freaking holds up like remarkably well. I have to watch so many bad comic book movies in a year. I have to watch so many bad ones, and we're just ignoring so much history. I mean, I'm not gonna stop playing geek because that's who I am as a person. But yeah, it's just nice to be able to unwind with a movie that's like below 2 hours, has a lot of good singing and dancing, and it's just made really well. What a year for Fleming, huh? What a year for
Hear me out.
Fleming.
The Racing Wizard of Oz will never be a 5-star movie because it's not the best version about a story set in Oz.
Can I rebut this real quick?
I mean,
Oz the Great.
I have lived. You motherfucker! I have lived in a world where I've been told forever that it can never be perfect because Wicked is better. And while
It is.
Wicked is better, it is a better story set in the world of Oz. Both are 5 out of 5 perfect experiences. Both can equally be perfect adaptations set in the world of Oz of different source materials based in the world of Oz. I think like this movie is a perfect template about the world of Oz and Dorothy, and literally Wicked is not good if the Wizard of Oz is not good. If the Wizard of Oz does not exist and is not this, if we don't have the Wizard of Oz like this as this perfect movie, then Wicked is never made or even a 10th as good as it is because it doesn't have the place to jump off of. I think Wicked is perfect and great as is as well as a deconstruction of the Wizard of Oz and turning it into something new. But I think that the Wizard of Oz has to be perfect for Wicked to be perfect. Like they're like so important to each other's success that I think it's so weird to be like the Wizard of Oz can't be perfect because it's like saying Iron Man can't be perfect because Avengers Endgame is perfect. It's like they're both perfect. They're both excellent in the same vein.
I think this is embarrassing for you, Koho. I didn't mean Wicked. I meant the HBO series Oz. You can't top that.
Oh, sure. That's exposing that they don't know what the fuck Oz is about. I really love when the Scarecrow shivs the Cowardly Lion.
He has a gun. He has a gun.
Don't
you just love?
But
They're just
to just like wrap up my thoughts in a bow on The Wizard of Oz, is I think The Wizard of Oz is a perfect film musical and is one of the most important films in the history of cinema for a reason. I think it's an incredible film. Its actual achievements in technical prowess still hold up 100 years later, which is absolutely bonkers. It's better, like I said, it's better than visual effects that come out today. I think Margaret Hamilton should have won the Oscar this year for The Wizard of Oz, or for The Wicked Witch, let alone been nominated. Should have won. I think that she is incredible. I think Frank Morgan as the Wizard of Oz is incredible. I think he's a great performance, but I also think like the Scarecrow has always been my favorite, and I think Ray Bolger's performance is also great. And you cannot say enough great things about Judy Garland in this role. I think that her performance as Dorothy is an all-time performance that is made so impressive by the fact that she's like 14 or 15. Like she's like a kid doing this, and she's got a full singing voice that is like super impressive to listen to, and just this like great bright-eyed optimism. I think this film's just really beautiful and really fun, and this really sweet movie about childhood innocence and dreams, and I think it's just like a great musical.
Bring up the list.
Jack, have you seen The Wizard of Oz?
I have.
How was it?
I like it. I think it's a good movie. I will say that much. I think the production design for it is incredible. I think the music is beautiful, and the songs are great, and the performances are all great. Yes.
Cool.
No, I'm not gonna bring up.
Can we see the topmost?
I think this is number one on this list because I think number one is I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang. And while I love I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, I think this is.
I would put it below Mr. Deeds.
So
That's the only one I've seen.
I would put it
second
above
that.
Mr. Deeds, but that's the only one that that's the highest I've seen.
I
I
will-
would definitely say it's better than Mr. Deeds. Like
I will put my soapbox down and go, yeah, better than Mr. Deeds, but I think it's also better than I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang. Like, as much as I love I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang, I think The Wizard of Oz is just like, it's undeniable. The Wizard of Oz is an undeniable masterpiece of film that I
would
don't,
agree.
I can't not put it over
But-
I'm a Fugitive from a Chain Gang.
Hear me out. If we put it below Chain Gang, Goho will be mad. And you have to win for all of us.
You mean
Okay,
I
so
put-
who
Oh,
is-
What about the integrity of The Wizard of Oz?
hang on. Who has seen Chain Gang? Because Koho did. Matthew
has
did.
also.
So this decision rests entirely on you two.
So like,
I mean,
Koho said,
I-
it needs to
Matthew,
go
you
above.
haven't seen it in a long time, have you?
yeah, no, that's the main issue. I'll watch
get
it
that.
before next week.
Okay.
Since I just took my final, I'll have time to watch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tentatively,
I-
it goes at number 2.
That's fine. I would say Matthew and I for sure can say it goes better than Mr. Deeds, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
I would say
Yeah,
this.
definitively we'll put it at number 2 and reevaluate if it's number 1 or not.
All right.
Yeah, great.
So that leads us to
The next extra credits we have.
We'll do
the
Mr.
next extra credit. I think is what's really probably going to top the list.
Well, how about we save that one for last?
I'm fine
and
with
cover because Jack watched Dark Victory, I watched Stagecoach,
I've seen Stagecoach like more recently.
I
so can
watched-
talk about that.
and I watched Goodbye, Mr. Chips.
So Jack, tell us about Dark Victory then.
Dark Victory is it's a good movie. Like I gave it 3 stars because the 3 central performances in this movie, especially from Betty Davis, are all great. Betty Davis was nominated for Best Actor for this, and while I still give the Oscar to Vivian Leigh, she gives a great performance. It's about a woman who finds out that she has a tumor, a brain tumor, and she gets it surgically removed, but she has further complications, and she knows eventually that she's going to die. So it's just her kind of living her life, just living out her last few weeks, and it's a very heartbreaking performance from Davis. Absolutely deserved nomination. But other than that, there's not too much to talk about for the movie. Like, the cinematography is good, fine. It's edited well, I guess. It's just the score is there. You get a nothing performance from Humphrey Bogart, which is sad to say. But
From what I gather, that's a trend that will continue for most Humphrey Bogart performances.
No comment. Anyway, yeah, no. So it's a very the performances in it are all incredibly strong, but other than that, there's nothing really to talk about. So I gave it 3 stars for that reason.
Dope. Where would you say it goes on a list of movies that you have hopefully seen?
Let's see. Where's Dark Victory? There it is. Honestly, I'd probably put it. I have it above One Night of Love. I haven't seen, and then the next one I've seen is Cleopatra. I'm fine with putting it just above One Night of Love, but below Seventh Heaven.
All right.
Sure.
This is your decision. Yeah, great. So to 22 it goes.
I just want to say for the record, for people who are joining at this episode, if they do at any point, the extra credit list is the most bullshit thing we've ever made, and I can't wait till the end when we have like 600 movies and like all of us have seen like a tenth of the
And
movies.
number 1 is La La Land.
And number 1 is La La Land.
We will not let that happen.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, we
You
will.
are outvoted.
There are
Jack.
2 votes at least for La La Land being number
There
1.
are 3. By the way,
There
3
are
votes?
4.
4. Get fucked, you Canadian bitch. Let's put La La Land 1 now.
All right,
A full
can we talk
year in
about
advance.
Stagecoach or Goodbye Mr. Chips next?
I can breeze through Goodbye Mr. Chips real fast. Goodbye Mr. Chips is not a good film. It is a boring British period piece that feels like it's light and goofy and fun, but like it's not. It thinks it's this really great comedy, and it's not. It thinks it's an interesting biopic, and it's not. The fact that Robert Donat won Best Actor for this is laughable because he's fine. It's a nothing performance of just like this, like, oh, I'm kind of ditzy. You're like, I hate this performance. I think it's nuts that he won over Clark Gable or James Stewart. Like, both of them are better than him by a lot. So, yeah, the movie's not good, and the only reason to watch it was Robert Donat. And when Robert Donat himself is fine, I think that the movie itself is just knocked down even further. So, yeah, show me that list. Let me show you where I want to see where I'm burying this movie.
I also saw Goodbye Mr. Chips. I'm a little higher on it than you are, but I do agree that it's insane that he won.
Just nuts. I gave it 2 stars. I disliked it.
Goodbye Mr. Chips.
I almost want to watch whatever the fuck Herbert Ross remake was with what's his fuck.
Adam Sandler.
Honestly, I put it between The Divorcee and One Night of Love.
I would put it below She Done Him Wrong. I'd put it above The Champ though. Yeah.
What about the front page?
I haven't seen the front
I'm
page.
the one
so.
who's seen it, so
Okay.
I would just say at this point
So
just below She Done
above
Him
the
Wrong.
Champ is probably where that should go.
Yeah, above
She
the
Done
Champ, below the front page. As long as it's below She Done Him Wrong, that's all I can say. So
That'll do.
that'll do, pig. That'll do.
Hey, so the other extra credit pick.
Stagecoach.
Stagecoach.
We still have Stagecoach to talk
Stagecoach.
about.
Did I just miss?
Nope, we're doing that one.
Well, no,
last.
we'll do that one last. We're
Okay.
going to Stagecoach
All right.
first.
I have seen half of this movie and I hate it.
I watched
Boy.
Stagecoach with one Caleb Boatman on HBO Max. Actually, I watched it with Caleb Boatman and Richard Boatman. It was a pretty decent time. It was actually a pretty decent time. He didn't watch all of it. He kind of came in at the end and just watched the last little bit. But it was good. I like Stagecoach. I don't love it. I'd give it a solid 3.5. I think I've decided I don't like John Ford as a director because I also don't like The Informer. So like between his like first Best Oscar win and then like this, it's like I think this is a good movie. I'd say I like it, but I'm not like in love with it. It gave me Hateful Eight vibes a little bit, but like not as good. Where it was like got people in a stagecoach going somewhere. It's like the first 45 minutes of The Hateful Eight if it were a full movie, which I love the first 45 minutes of The Hateful Eight, but like it's that. John Wayne's pretty good, which is kind of crazy. He's pretty decent.
think he was good.
Claire Tom is her name? Claire Thomas, is that her name?
Claire Trevor.
Yeah, Claire Trevor. She's very good. I think Thomas Mitchell is the standout performer, but his supporting actor win is also not a great one. I think he's fine. I think he's the best part of the movie, but I don't think he's deserving of an Oscar for it. He had a great year. Don't get me wrong. Thomas Mitchell had an insane year in 1939 when you look up everything he's been in, because he was in this, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, Gone with the Wind, and I think he was in The Hunchback of Notre Dame and something else. He was in like a lot of movies. Maybe he wasn't in Gone with the Wind, but he was in like 5 movies that year, not all nominated for Oscars. So I get why they gave it to him, to be like, hey, this is your like most meaty role, and you had a great year. But he should not have beaten 2 of the performances that he was nominated against this year.
Is one of them Claude Rains?
One of them is Claude Rains. The other one is Harry Carey. Both are better than Thomas Mitchell in Stagecoach.
Okay.
Thomas Mitchell should not have been nominated for Mr. Smith. Sorry. I'll say this. If you're going to nominate Thomas Mitchell, I get why you pick Stagecoach. I think his best performance between the 2 is in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, but he should not have been nominated at all between those 2.
Bring up the list.
Yeah, no, I didn't like Stagecoach, to be honest. I just didn't find it that interesting, but it does have really great sets though. I think there's just some amazing like production value that is worth watching for. But didn't really like it. Westerns aren't really for me for the most part. There are some that I really love, but Stagecoach just didn't really hit me. So
Fair
Where
enough.
this going, fam?
Let's see. Sorry, let's take a look. I would put it. I'd put it up pretty higher than where we are here. Like I'd put it up a lot higher, like above the number 20 range. Like I'd put it. Where's the Thin Man? Thin Man's 13. I'd put it above 42nd Street, below the Thin Man. Those are the
I
two I've
would
seen.
put it lower. I'd put it under One Night of Love.
Oh wow,
You gotta
Jack, where would you put it?
Put the shit at the bottom. Fuck that
I
movie.
did not get around to watching Stagecoach.
Has anyone besides me and Matthew seen Stagecoach?
I've seen half
Oh,
of it.
it's
Does
Max.
that count?
No, but
Come on, put it, sink it all the way back. All the way down.
I'll
Movie sucks.
I'll defer to Matthew because I don't have strong feelings about Stagecoach, so I'll let him put it underneath One Night of Love above The Divorcee.
Okay. I was like, we can balance it out. Put
That's
it around
fine.
like
No,
7 or
no.
something.
I don't care.
He liked
All
it.
right.
I didn't love it.
Now
I
the
like
one
it, didn't love it,
we've
like,
all
I'll live
been
without it.
waiting for.
So the movie that should have won Best Picture this year with a bullet without any contest was made by Frank Capra called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. The best movie that holds up the best of all the nominees, the best performance of the year without question. I think Frank Capra should have won Best Director this year over Victor Fleming, and I know that's sacrilege to say because I know he had a great year, but I think this is Capra's best movie. I think this is the best Capra has ever been as a director. His skills are on full display. James Stewart's incredible, and I think if you watch YLS, we could say now, I think it's the best performance of all time on film. I think James Stewart in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is incredible, and I think he anchors a great ensemble around him. Like we said, Thomas Mitchell, but also Jean Arthur, Harry Carey, Claude Rains. They're all phenomenal performances this year. Claude Rains should have won Best Supporting Actor. Jean Arthur should have been nominated and won. If you put her in supporting, then maybe not supporting, but I would put her in lead, and I would say it's actually a contest between her and Vivien Leigh, and I'd give it to Jean Arthur probably over Vivien Leigh. I think Jean Arthur is great in Mrs. Smith Goes to Washington. If she's in Best Actress, I think she wins. If she's in supporting, she doesn't win, but she's still great. But yeah, I think this winning one Oscar for the dumbass way they built the screenplay categories back then, where it was like the guy who came up with the story gets to win best story, but then the actual physical screenplay they wrote technically counts as an adapted screenplay, and it lost to fucking Gone with the Wind, which is terrible. That's a terrible loss. I think it's a great script. I love the fun facts that I have for this that I learned while we were hanging out at Boatman's was that the Senate, this was screened for the Senate first, and they unanimously panned it, hated it, said it was anti-American, that it was a communist propaganda film, that it was like an awful depiction of America, and that it made the Senate all look like idiots. And they were actually trying to pass legislation to have this movie banned in America and to ban other movies that they deemed un-American. But the other fun fact is when the Germans took over, like the Nazis occupied France, and banned American cinema. This was the movie that some theaters would play on repeat before it was banned, and one theater owner was killed for playing this movie after the ban. So yeah, this movie is powerful. One of the most important films in the history of cinema, not just for its not just transcendent any technical work, because of the message and the storytelling and the performances. I think Mr. Smith Goes to Washington is maybe one of the most important films of the classic era, and also just one of the best. Number one on extra credit with a fucking bullet.
Frank Capra is alone responsible for me having a full turnaround on Jimmy Stewart. Not in Rear Window. He's still terrible in Rear Window. He's still awful in Rear Window. Like, he sucks. Sweating Under Lights is not a performance. But oh, it isn't.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's the Jean Arthur. Like, there are just scenes of her like looking up at Jimmy Stewart, and it's like, oh, she's in love with him. Like, this is just do it. They're palpably in love. This is like one of the best movies ever made. I'm saying that right now. One watch.
Yeah.
You know, I was ready to say it.
I've seen it 3 times. It's like in my top 30 movies of all time. I love this movie.
Also, sure is weird that it's this hard to get a law passed now. Maybe even
The
worse.
filibuster. Can we just talk about for like 5 seconds the actual filibuster scene where where his voice is just hoarse and he's just dying up there, and he's like, "You got to use your voice."
Best use of the filibuster
So-
ever. No question, no argument.
The most valid filibuster ever used in the history of politics, real or fictional.
Bullshit otherwise.
Anybody else who saw?
It's in my top 100.
It's
Yeah,
also
it is.
number one.
I am the only person who hasn't seen it because I did not have time.
Oh,
It's
Matthew.
Matthew.
I
had
just want to
something?
say,
Yes.
I also
No,
want to say that, like, when we won our Oscars pool and all the shit, I've been giving this movie out left and right and center to people to watch because I found out so many people haven't seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. And, like, every single time I've recommended this, someone they come back and go, "Oh, it's an all-time great." And I'm like, "Yeah, it is."
That was me. That was
I'm
me.
not
We
in the
did-
same-
Well, no,
Don't
you're the
worry.
second person that's happened to.
Well, yeah,
I am
but like
literally
that
watching
happened this year where I was the recipient of Mr. Smith because I lost the Oscars pool this year, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right,
I
Jimmy
still have
Stewart,
to
huh?
watch the smoking.
You also gotta
Yeah,
watch-
I gave Jack thank you for smoking because I think he's gonna dig the shit out of that.
I probably will. All right.
So
I've Also,
bring up
seen-
the list.
I've also seen Mr. Smith. I echo everything everyone has said. It's incredible, and I think we can just safely put it at number one.
No, number one.
Number one with a bullet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really hard to pick between. You know what? Never mind. We'll get through when we get.
And it's almost as good as Wings.
Almost good as
I
All
think
right.
that we can all say right now, if this had come out in like any other year in the 30s, it would have won.
Oh no,
Probably.
no, yeah, no,
Oh,
no,
like,
no.
I
no.
just-
Yeah.
This is the greatest film of the 30s. Period.
I
If
would
you
agree with
replace
that.
this
I
with
think it's
like
the best
Lady
film of
for a
the 30s.
Day. If you swap out Lady for a Day, Lady for a Day still gets a nomination, but Mr. Smith Goes to Washington clearly takes.
Wins, runs. It's just absolutely.
All right.
Especially
So we
replaced
have a
by
new number
Paul.
one, baby.
E.
E.
I'm Andrew Barr. I like old movies. Oh.
I thought you were gonna say something way worse than I like old movies.
I don't get my waitresses.
Why are you doing the "I love you, Daddy" voice from Shrek 4? Spencer's doing Spencer's doing the "I love you, Daddy."
I love you, Daddy.
I hate that so much.
All
I
right.
hate it. We are like so
Oh,
accurate
baby.
on it, and I don't like it.
Jack,
All
close
right.
the segment so we can move on with our lives.
So, all right, we have to actually rank Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we have to but close the extra credit segment. I
Otherwise, we're
meant.
just gonna be like podcast within a podcast within a podcast within a podcast.
Extra credit.
There, it's closed.
All right, we got to do it. We got to rank this here Gone with the Wind. I know where I'm gonna put in it. Because
know
I'm
where I'm
still
putting it.
probably in charge of nominating. I will say that this goes firmly below Grand Hotel. that is where it goes for me. If anybody wants to go higher, begin the nominating process now. Does anyone think it's better than Grand Hotel?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Raise your
if you think it's
hand.
better than Grand Hotel.
I don't.
I don't.
All right, there you
Go.
go. This is the first time on the Best Picture list that I've lost the Best Picture spot. And but the thing is, I don't give a shit about this one. I don't care.
It's all right. So that's where it goes. It Grand Hotel, movie that we were like, it's all right. Has
And I
held
liked
on
it.
to its top 5 spot. Absolutely trashing Gone with the Wind. Grand Hotel stays in the top spot. All Quiet on the Western Front. Then You Can't Take It With You. Mutiny on the Bounty and It Happened One Night still are best picture. That's okay. That's the show. You can all leave now. But I think it's important that we look back. And we've been doing that. Now we've got to look forward. Because the 30s are over. And it's time to go to the 40s, baby.
Honestly,
What are we looking forward to in the 19?
We got Rebecca. I'm
Good
excited.
movies.
Okay,
Fuck.
Rebecca is great, but I'm really
Rebecca's
excited
amazing.
for everyone to see The Lost Weekend, which I'm afraid I've overhyped at this point. It's one of my favorite movies. I think Ray Milland is incredible. One of my favorite Best Actor wins ever. So I'm really
like
excited for that one.
Cool.
I'm very much looking forward to Casablanca. I've never seen Casablanca, so I'm very excited to watch Casablanca. I'm
You
excited.
never,
No, that's my biggest blind spot in the history of
bro.
time.
Which these, bro.
But Casablanca, The Lost Weekend, All the King's Men, which I've seen not all of it in its entirety, but I've seen like the first half. So I would say that I'm excited to finishing All the King's Men. I'm more excited about a lot of the extra credits than I am the actual winners.
I would
That's
agree.
fair. The extra credit I'm most excited about is It's a Wonderful Life because I've never seen it.
Oh, dude, I
Oh
can't
my
wait to. I'm
God.
so excited to rewatch It's a Wonderful Life. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies ever. I'm excited to watch The Great Dictator next week.
It's great.
Love I'm also kind of excited. I'm interested in The Grapes of Wrath to see John Ford's second Oscar win. I want to watch Our Town because theater nerd. And then I'm kind of excited about Foreign Correspondent.
That was good. It's a good movie.
I'm very hype about rewatching Philadelphia Story because like James Stewart's Oscar win that year is like usually touted as like, oh, this is his makeup for not winning the last year. But I've always said like he's very good in the Philadelphia Story. It's a against type James Stewart performance because it's the first one where like he starts. There's very much 2 eras of Jimmy Stewart's niche, and this is the bridge where it's like he's usually the optimistic idealist like he is in You Can't Take It With You and Mr. Smith and like all of his younger performances. And then old Jimmy Stewart's like cynical, antagonistic, and he's very good at that. But like Philadelphia Story is like the bridge where you get both in one performance, and I can see why he won for that. I'm kind of excited about fucking Gaslight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking forward to rewatching Double Indemnity, seeing The Bells of St. Mary, Spellbound, Great Expectations. Yeah, what about? I thought Brief Encounter got nominated for Best Picture, but I guess not.
No.
No, but it should have.
You should watch it anyways. It's amazing.
Yes, it got a Best Director nomination and an Actress nomination.
You
I mean,
what
I'll
we could
watch it. I could probably go ahead and watch that for an extra credit.
And wait, guys, our number one fan,
Wait,
Andrew
it's not.
Barr,
Wait, no, it can't be an extra credit because it's not nominated for picture.
we can watch
Yeah.
his favorite movie ever, Yankee Doodle Dandy.
I will be
Extra
watching
credit.
Yankee Doodle Dandy for extra credit.
Same.
Extra credit where we watch other movies. Not
Wait, okay, wait.
We're not
Wait,
starting
wait.
a second extra credit.
You know the best part about the 1940s? It goes down to 5 nominees, less extra credit.
No. It means like
Mine's on
what it means
44.
is for the next year and a half, we can technically watch all the nominees for Best Picture in a week and then
You
rank
can.
all of them in the extra
You can.
credits.
No.
Yeah.
I'll say this
I'll
right
do
now.
that.
There's a lot of years where I will be watching all 5. Like next week I'm going to try and watch all 10.
I've already
And then-
seen 4 of them, so
I can't wait for Code Breaker
And
the
then-
Warzone straight the Best Picture nominees and just know like 500 movies.
And then 1944, I'll be watching all 5. I think the next time I'll be watching all 5 will
Oh, and y'all can watch
be-
Gaslight is so fucking good. Y'all need to watch that.
I'm going to be watching Gaslight. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I'm going to be watching all the nominees in 1956, maybe. I know that like for a while I'll like just dip in and out, watch maybe 4 of the 5 for most of them. I think I'm gonna watch all 5 in 1967. But yeah, there's gonna be years where I'm going to be watching all 5. I'm not rewatching Maltese Falcon. I've already seen it and I don't care for it. So
It's fine.
I might
fine.
rewatch it.
it's fine.
I don't
I've seen it
have
recently enough where I'm like, it's fine.
So,
Guess who's never seen Citizen Kane?
It's
And
fine.
it's
It's fine.
amazing.
No,
Good.
it's
It is
fine.
better than Casablanca.
good.
I'm
Mank-
also,
Really good.
Mank is better than Citizen Kane, and I'll
smell like
stand
Mank.
by.
I will tell you when I get there. And just for the 1942, we're gonna make Jack watch one of my all-time favorite films. Not nominated, but I just like it. I just think it's neat. We're gonna make him watch I Married a Witch.
It's fun. It's a
the
great
only
time.
movie I have in
Veronica-
Criterion.
Also 1944. It's not nominated for any Oscars, but with how much this group loves Frank Capra, watch Arsenic and Old Lace.
Yeah.
So
Do yourself
Amazing
a
movie.
favor. Arsenic and Old Lace is one of Capra's best movies, and the fact that it didn't get a nomination is still baffling because that movie is like a perfect Halloween movie. Like when we get to 44, I would recommend just watching it for funsies. But like, yeah, Arsenic and Old Lace is one of Capra's best. Great movie. But yeah, and then I can't wait till we go through all these. And isn't this decade the only decade where every movie nominated for Best Picture, or that one Best Picture, is in black and white?
I think so. Yeah.
Because Rebecca's black and
Rebecca's
white.
black and white.
How Green Was My Valley's black and white. Miniver is black and white. Casablanca's black and white. Going My Way is black and white. Lost Weekend's black and white. Gentleman's Agreement's black and white. Hamlet's black and white. All the King's Men's black and white. Is The Best Years of Our Lives black and white?
Yes, it is.
Then all 10 movies we're watching for the next 10 weeks are black and white movies.
We're never escaping this hellscape of black and white.
I
Okay.
hope you enjoyed Gone with the Wind. It's the only taste of color you're going to get in film for the next 10 weeks.
I have worked crew on Arsenal Lace. Fucking awesome show to work crew on. It is an insane amount of fun.
So I just looked. The next time we're going to get a color film for Best Picture is An American in Paris in 1951. And then it's color for The Greatest Show on Earth.
And it's mid too.
And then I think it's color for Around the World in 80 Days.
I think so.
It's
Maybe.
definitely color for Bridge on the River Kwai
And for Ben-Hur.
and Ben-Hur. And then I think The
Ben-Hur.
Apartment is the last film to be in black and white to win until till Schindler's List. So after once we get on the other side of The Apartment, it's all color until Schindler's List and The Artist. Both
One of
one's
them is
good,
great,
one's
the other
good,
is
and
good.
one's bad. You can be you can tell which one. Which one do
They're
I think
both
is bad?
good. They're
do I
both
think-
good.
Do I
Both
think
good.
Schindler's List is bad, or do I think The Artist is bad? I'll let you be the judge.
Jack, you
Both are
can't
good,
give
one is
don't like my
better than the
fucking
other.
opinions on how the show works. We can all
I
talk to
can't wait for Killing Nazis to come back for Schindler's List.
We're gonna totally forget. All right,
No, we
so
won't. Now Barr will do exactly what he did. He
It's
will remind me
mid.
every
It's
time.
boring, and the ballet sequence
Bar-
is way too fucking long.
Barr, your job is to remind me to do Killing Nazis every week where it fits. Thank you very much.
well, Bar will be fandom champion by then, so we can't. He won't be around. Remember. So yeah. So next week we're gonna start with the 40s, with
That's
Rebecca.
until we get to the 70s.
And yeah, we hope you tune in, unless that we have so thoroughly destroyed you. Oh god, we're doing all of them. Okay, fine. How Green Was My Valley is gonna be after that. Ironically, that movie might not be very gay. We're gonna hit up Mrs. Miniver. Also maybe not very gay. I haven't seen it.
Find those DMs.
That was pretty gay, isn't it? I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll get there.
Is there
We'll get there.
another Mrs. Miniver?
And don't do it.
Boy,
So, yeah, we hope that
I forgot that was the.
This is such a
song.
long episode. We're all tired.
this is such a long
cares? Who
episode. I've got to
cares?
go now because I'm going to go watch a wrestling show in a movie theater. No, I'm not kidding. So for everyone here at
Wait
Picture
for the
This,
date.
remember
Maybe we will do an Avengers retro cast next week. You never know.
When you sub to our Patreon, we will.
yeah, if you
Yeah.
if you send us
That's also where you'll
$10,
get
we will do
the-
it. So for
Reaction.
everyone to picture this, everyone shut up because I'm trying to close the show. Always remember, Oscar was not a name that it originally had, and we never asked him if it was cool to call him that. So definitely do that first. Anyway, bye.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner. Bye.
Don't you do it, Alex.
Man.
So hard.
I hate you.